Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. I want to discuss some issues that have been going on over the last couple months within the cryptocurrency markets, really kind of dealing with stablecoins. And many of you know I've been posting information, like whether it's on the Patreon or whether it's the TC Watch group or within the Discord, just about like some of the corrupt things dealing with stablecoins and just digging deeper into it and looking at everything. And I'm really finding out right now there's really a war going on. But before I get into that, folks, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. If you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and also the About section of YouTube, Patreon, PayPal, and so on. Now, before I get into that, right now, Bitcoin is sitting at $20,724. Over the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has stayed above 20,000. Now, just putting all the information together, and just looking at, what people are saying, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on the news or Fox Business or Kitco News, whatever, and just listening to all these different opinions and basically coming to the conclusion that many people don't think that this is the bottom. Like it went down to 17,700 and they think that they could actually see it go down a little bit lower than that, anywhere from 10,000 to 16,500. So I've been kind of waiting because that's where I really want to go all in at, because I do believe at that point that cryptocurrencies, the altcoins, have been pretty cheap already as it is. And I've been picking some up, but I believe that there's an opportunity that may even go even lower than where we have been buying at. But what's been really going on with the cryptocurrency industry, right, and the attack that has been happening on stablecoins. And I came across something very interesting. And this is the Twitter account of the Binance CEO, right? And I'm going to go ahead and just pull up the picture. And this is what he said back on April the 12th. Now, this is before all the mess that has been going on with stablecoins and the attacks and everything else. And it's amazing that this tweet is actually still up. And when you get a chance, you should check out the quote tweets and what people are saying. And he says here, when the Titanic sinks, little floats near it get dragged down too, but the floats will eventually come back up if they are untethered. All right, so a lot of people, including myself, have interpreted that as an attack on Tether, right, and some of the other stable coins. And so you saw what happened to the Luna stablecoin. It completely lost its peg. But one of the things is a lot of the liquidations that have been going on right now has been on Binance and FTX and a few other crypto trading platforms. It's weird because so many people are getting liquidated, whether they're going long or they're going short, because of the fluctuation within the price. And so a lot of people are saying that all these attacks and everything that is going on is intentional. And a lot of people have called, including myself, listening to research and all that stuff, and how they say, well, Tether is, evil, they're corrupt, the people behind it and this and that. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, after just coming across more information, some things just don't make sense, because if they were, then how come they're not joining with the big dogs? And of course, it's just like in anything, like the mafia or gang, turf wars, whatever, they're all evil and corrupt. They're all vying for power too as well. And so what he's saying is that when the Titanic, and I believe that he was referring to Tether, right, and the little floats near it. So you saw what happened with Terra Luna. You're seeing what happens with USDD, right? And then you even saw that with even USDT, it actually lost its peg twice for a short period of time. So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, so what is really going on? Are these different crypto mafias vying for power, and who's really behind all this stuff that's going on? Obviously, for whatever reason, they feel like they need to get rid of Tether. I shared with you guys, if they get rid of Tether, it is going to bring about not a crypto winter, but a crypto ice age. What they want, I think they really wanted to see USDT fall with all these others that were falling too. And then here recently, I posted like on June 1st about Solana and their major issues. And what popped in my head was Luna equals moon and it crashed. Solana equals sun and it's currently crashing. Not that it means anything, just watch Solana and be on guard for any major crash if they can't resolve issues now or in the near future. So we saw what happened with some of the other coins, right? Like Luna, it dropped and then people just poured their money in and then it shot back up. So that's kind of like I'm looking for swing plays or swing trades, that could happen. Similarly, what happened to Luna and even a few other coins. So here, back a couple days ago, breaking, Solana is about to get liquidated. A whale has deposited 5 million SOL, which is 170 million, and borrowed 108 million USDC and USDT borrowed. And to prevent this, they're proposing to literally steal the user's funds and execute OTC orders. Apparently they voted yes to take over this person's account. And here's that article. Solana DeFi platform votes to control whale account and bid to avoid liquidation chaos. Sol end users voted to grant emergency powers to Solana Labs to temporarily take over the whale's account. If they can go in, take over your account, that's pretty insane, because what if they decided to do that to anybody who had to say like 1 million users, right? Because they want to avoid getting liquidated. So they grab a hold of 1 million users and do what they needed to do to keep from liquidating. This whale was no typical user. The account had parked 5.7 million SOL onto Sol end, or over 95% of the pool's deposits. Against that, it had borrowed 108 million in stablecoins, far more than anyone else. Solana lending DAO overturns vote to take over at-risk whale wallet. Sol ends controversial governance proposal to take over the DeFi lending protocol's largest wallet has been invalidated after a follow-up vote. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding that. Now, one of the things is that they have a new proposal which has passed, and that is a per account borrow limit of 500 million will be imposed, with rollout starting at 120 million and gradually decreasing. Basically, they're going to put all the funds into 3 separate accounts, right? And apparently this is supposed to be happening within about 10 hours. One comment, so the whale had to split his or her collateral into 3 accounts. Yep, that should stop the liquidation spiral. So obviously, there's going to be some people that don't believe that it's going to work out. Just some other information about just liquidations in general. And it says here there's a wallet holding 150 million worth of Ether that would be liquidated if Ether hits 895. It got insanely close on Sunday. This will be one to watch closely. And of course, he talks about Sol. A wallet holding 170 million worth of Sol will get liquidated if Sol hits $22.30. And then Celsius holds 500 million worth of Bitcoin. It will get liquidated if Bitcoin hits 13,602. So obviously there's some really big risk of liquidations. So the only thing I say to that is just watch the price. If this crashes, right, to like pennies, right, so we might be facing the same situation where it'll crash down and then maybe jump up and then crash again. There might be opportunities there. And just like anything else, at the beginning of the year, it was sitting at $173 before you see where it's at right now, to $35.38. And so going back to what the Binance CEO said, everything that we're seeing is coordinated. You saw what happened to USDT. They're still not paid. And the lowest they got was basically around 92 cents. All right, so that's still pretty crazy. It's supposed to be pegged to the dollar, so it's supposed to be a 1-for-1. And so going back and looking at this, when the Titanic sinks, little floats near it get dragged down too. So I was thinking about Celsius, right? The price dropped all the way down to approximately 15 cents, right? And then it just skyrocketed today, actually, up to $1.56. Right? So I'm like, wow, I completely missed this one. The only platform that I use that's on the list is Bittrex. All right, so apparently there's a whole big thing about trying to kill the shorts, right? The Celsius community getting together and trying to fight this whole liquidation stuff. On June the 20th, which was yesterday, Tether faces ransom demand and massive denial of service attack, according to CTO Paolo Arduino. So the other thing that I want to bring up, and this was a response back on June the 15th, Tether claims coordinated conspiracy is trying to take it down. The top stablecoin claimed rumors about its reserves are being spread in an attempt to generate profits from a failing Tether by coordinated funds. Okay, so you can look that up and do the research in that. Okay, so when I look at this news here, right, it says, as Tether faces billions in redemptions, Circles, which is the name of the company's, USDC is gaining ground, right? And then here's another article. Despite Tether's dollar pay green station, crypto's investors flee the stablecoin. All right, so this is what their intentions was, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. On April the 12th, BlackRock, Fidelity, and others to invest $400 million in USDC stablecoin issuer Circle. Right, Marshall Wace and Finn Capital, and who knows who else is also putting their money into this, right? And this article came out on April the 12th. So what was Binance's tweet? What day was that? That was on April the 12th. So I find that very interesting. I thought BlackRock was for AMC, back in the time when they were putting a lot of money into AMC, and they could have easily crushed Citadel at any moment, but they chose not to, and they took advantage of AMC like a lot of like some of the other hedge funds did. But so there is no coincidence with this. So when I go back to this, and I've actually listened to the CTO about some of the conspiracy theories online, and he said that people are putting that information out, and and it's like, not to say that the people behind it haven't done anything bad, or they didn't have evil intentions from the beginning, but obviously something is trying to take them out. And luckily that Tether was not invested in some of these other coins or stable coins or anything like that, or any of these other coins that fell, like Celsius. Okay, and this came out today. Tether prepares full audit to improve USDT reserves transparency, because that's probably been one of the biggest issues. If you've heard anybody talk about Tether and the conspiracies behind Tether, and a lot of it has to do with what's actually on the reserves. So we actually need to keep watch of this. If they're trying to take out Tether and bring down the markets, if they're trying to take out Tether, and what did he say? What did the CEO say? When the Titanic sinks, little floats near it get dragged down too, but the floats will eventually come back up if they are untethered. If you can't see how clear that is and what they're doing, so we need to keep our eye on when this is actually completed, right? That's going to be very important, because this could, if for whatever reason, if they don't have a full financial backing, USDT will fall, right? And then on the other note, they may try to take out Tether before this is actually done, right? Because they meant to take out Tether and it didn't happen, all right? So the powers to be failed. Right, and I don't think it's over yet. I think they do want to hurt the markets a little bit more, and I think that is coming this week, but that all remains to be seen. So a lot of people are going to ask me about, Bitcoin buy limit orders, USDT, USDC, all that. So it says here, Circle's USDC flips Tether's USDT in daily transactions on Ethereum. Now USDC is still doesn't have the influence like on other trading platforms. Like there are some platforms you can only trade USDC with a couple tokens, right? They don't have the outreach, and they don't have the pairs like USDT has. But when it comes to Bitcoin, one of the things that I found out that there are some platforms that you can put USDT in Bitcoin buy limit orders, down to 10 cents or a penny, but you can't do it with USDC. So you kind of have to go back and check that. And you might want to add, maybe overall, maybe not right now, because I have mine coordinated by volume, right, per platform. So I may need to go back and evaluate it and maybe add some USDC. Either way, right now, at least according to the Prophetic and what Christopher Harris was saying about USDT, that is one of the pairs that we were supposed to use. So you still add USDT unless things change, until before we get the first Bitcoin crash or flash crash to zero. but you may want to add some more to USDC since it looks like the big boys are investing a lot of money in USDC, right? So you don't have to do it now because I don't think that we're ready for that point yet. I think we're going to go on a bull run, and when you guys get the extra funds, you can add the extra funds to the USDC and Bitcoin pair. So they're using 12 accounting firms to do this. So who knows how long this is going to take. I think it may take up to what I saw back in 2021. It may take up to a couple of months for this to be completed. So who knows what can happen with that. We've got some different prophetic words, you know, about XRP and what all that was supposed to cause a crash. But also, too, they were to come out with information that was hurtful for USDT. That could actually cause a crash, too, as well. But then it kind of defeats the purpose of the Bitcoin buy limit orders. Okay, and putting them in USDT, considering, you know, they have basically 90% of the market when it comes to stable coins. Like if you look at Kucoin, right, they do have USDC pairs, but if you look at the amount of USDT pairs, it's absolutely crazy, way, way more than all the other pairs. There's some things to look out for, right? We're going to be looking out for the audit. We're going to be looking out for more attacks because I don't think that they're done. I do believe that according to what I've seen and listened to over the last 12 hours today, that I do believe that we should be seeing Bitcoin drop down again, maybe anywhere from 10 to 16,500. That remains to be seen. That's just from just listening to other people, not my opinion necessarily. I can't read those Bitcoin charts like that just yet. So the other thing is too, there's a lot of corruption within the cryptocurrency markets, and that's one thing that God is going to deal with. And that's why we have the wealth transfer, because everything that these guys are doing right now, what you're seeing, is very corrupt, right? They don't care about the little person. These guys that are investing in this other coin, USDC, they don't care. If USDT was really corrupt, really corrupt, you mean to tell me that these guys here, BlackRock, Fidelity, and others, you don't think they have the power to have them investigated? And they could take them down like that if they wanted to. You understand my point? And they're just sitting there, all these people just, their accounts are getting liquidated. And people are just losing millions or their life savings or whatever. Like when Luna crashed, how many people just lost money? That's why you never want to put, 80, 90% of your investment into one thing. They don't care how many people are getting liquidated every day, and they're forcing the price of Bitcoin to go up and down, and they're liquidating all these people and just collecting all this money, millions and, actually billions of dollars over the last couple months. They are raking in the dough. While a lot of people are worried about USDT, we should be worried about some of the other things that are going on within the cryptocurrency markets. Not trying to put fear, but this is what God is going to have to deal with. This is going to be cleaned up at a certain point. So that is all I have for today, folks. So I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.